My wife's world fell apart when DNA tests at our anniversary. Party proved our kids weren't biologically mine. Sometimes, the moments that should bring you the most joy become the ones that destroy everything you thought you knew about your life. My name is Kai, and 20 years ago, I married the woman I thought would be my partner for life. Tonight was supposed to celebrate that milestone. Instead, it became the night I learned that everything I'd built my world around was a lie. The party was perfect, at least from the outside. Our backyard was transformed with string lights and elegant decorations. Friends and family had traveled from across the country to celebrate with us. My wife, Cora, looked stunning in her navy dress, the same color she wore on our first date. Our twins, Izar and Clara, both 19 now, were back from college, helping serve drinks and mingling with relatives they hadn't seen in years. I was standing near the dessert table watching Cora laugh with her college friends when I noticed him. Izar, her ex-husband, he was standing at the edge of our property, partially hidden behind our neighbor's fence. My stomach immediately tensed. Izar and Cora had divorced 2 years before we met, and their relationship had been contentious ever since, especially regarding custody arrangements for the kids during their teenage years. He wasn't supposed to be here. We hadn't invited him, and honestly, seeing him at our anniversary celebration felt like a violation. I excused myself from the conversation I was having with my brother and walked toward the fence. "Izar," I called out as I approached. "What are you doing here?" He stepped forward, and I noticed he was carrying a manila envelope. His expression was serious, almost grim. "Kai, I need to talk to you. It's important." "This isn't the time or place," I replied firmly. "This is our anniversary party. Whatever custody issue you're dealing with can wait until Monday." "It's not about custody," he said quietly. "It's about the twins." Something in his tone made my blood run cold. "What about them?" Izar glanced toward the party where Izar and Clara were laughing with their cousins near the pool. "Think you deserve to know the truth. I've been carrying this secret for 20 years and I can't do it anymore." My heart started pounding. "What secret?" He extended the envelope toward me. "These are DNA test results. I had them done 6 months ago." I stared at the envelope as if it were a bomb. "DNA results for what?" "The twins aren't your biological children, Kai. They're mine." The words hit me like a physical blow. The sounds of the party, laughter, conversation, music, seemed to fade into background noise. "That's impossible," I whispered. "I wish it were," Izar said softly. "Take the envelope, read it yourself." With trembling hands, I took the manila envelope. Inside were official laboratory documents from a reputable genetic testing company. The results were clear and undeniable. Izar showed a 99.97% probability of being the biological father of both Izar and Clara. I read the papers 3 times before the reality began to sink in. "How long have you known?" I asked. "I've suspected for years," Izar admitted. "The timing never made sense. Cora and I divorced in March. You two started dating in May. And she was pregnant by August. She told everyone, including you, that the babies were premature, but I did the math. Kai, 7-pound premature, twins born exactly 9 months, after we slept together one last time." My legs felt weak. I leaned against the fence for support. "Why are you telling me this now?" "Because I've been watching you raise my children for 20 years, and I've seen what a good father you are. But I also saw how Cora manipulated the situation. She let you believe they were yours while simultaneously collecting child support from me. She's been playing both of us." The pieces started falling into place with horrifying clarity. Cora's insistence on handling all the children's medical appointments alone, her reluctance to ever discuss the twins' early arrival, the way she'd always deflected, questions about their birth weight and developmental milestones. "There's more," Izar continued. "I hired a private investigator 6 months ago. Cora has been having an affair with her personal trainer for the past 3 years. The investigator has photos, hotel receipts, text messages, everything. I felt like I was drowning. 20 years of marriage, 20 years of loving and raising children who weren't mine biologically, and now discovering my wife had been betraying me in multiple ways. "Why should I believe you?" I asked, although a part of me already knew he was telling the truth. "Because you know her, Kai. Think about it. Really think about her behavior over the years." As much as I wanted to deny it, memories started flooding back. Late-night gym sessions that seemed excessive. Unexplained charges on our credit card at hotels across town. Her phone always face down. Password protected, never left unattended. I looked back toward the party. Cora was still laughing with her friends, completely unaware that her world was about to implode. Izar and Clara were taking selfies with their grandmother. These children I'd loved unconditionally, supported through every milestone, cheered for at every game and recital. "What do you want from me?" I asked Izar. "I want the truth to come out. I want my children to know who their real father is. And I think you deserve to know what kind of person you've been married to." I folded the DNA results and put them back in the envelope. "Give me the investigator's information too." Izar handed me a business card. "His name is Detective Reynolds. He's retired police, completely professional. He's been documenting everything for months." I took a deep breath and looked at my watch. The party still had hours to go, but my marriage was already over. I just hadn't announced it yet. "Izar, I need you to leave now, but we're going to talk more tomorrow. All three of us, you, me, and Cora." He nodded and walked away, disappearing into the darkness beyond our fence. Stood there for several more minutes, trying to process everything that had just happened. When I finally returned to the party, people kept asking if I was feeling all right. I must have looked terrible. Cora approached me with concern in her eyes. "Honey, you look pale. Are you okay?" I stared at her face, searching for any sign of guilt or deception. She looked genuinely worried, which somehow made everything worse. How could someone lie so completely for so long? "I'm fine," I lied. "Just tired?" The rest of the evening passed in a haze. I went through the motions, thanking guests for coming, cutting the anniversary cake, and posing for photos with family, but inside I was completely numb. After the last guest left and the cleanup was finished, Cora and I sat in our living room. The twins had gone upstairs to bed and the house was quiet, except for the ticking of our grandfather clock. "That was a beautiful party," Cora said, curling up next to me on the couch. "I can't believe we've been married 20 years. Time flies when you're happy." I looked at her. This woman I thought I knew completely now felt like a stranger. "Cora, we need to talk." Something in my tone must have alarmed her because she sat up straight. "About what?" I pulled out the envelope. "Izar came by tonight. He brought me something interesting." The color drained from her face instantly. What did he want? He wanted me to know the truth about Izar and Clara. Cora's hand started shaking. "Kai, whatever he told you, he's lying. He's always been jealous of our family." I opened the envelope and spread the DNA results on our coffee table. "These aren't lies, Cora. These are scientific facts." She stared at the papers, and I watched 2 decades of deception crumble across her face. "I can explain," she whispered. "Can you? Can you explain how you let me raise another man's children while collecting child support from their real father? Can you explain 3 years of hotel receipts with your trainer? Can you explain 20 years of lies?" Cora broke down crying, but I felt nothing. No sympathy, no urge to comfort her. Just cold, empty betrayal. "I never meant for it to go this far," she sobbed. "When I found out I was pregnant, I thought they were yours. By the time I suspected they might be Izar's, you were already so attached. I couldn't break your heart. So instead you decided to break it 20 years later," I said. "I love you, Kai. I've always loved you. Yes, I made mistakes, but our family is real. Our love is real." I stood up and looked down at her. "Our family is built on lies. Our love is built on deception. Nothing about this is real." The next morning I called Detective Reynolds. The evidence he'd gathered was overwhelming. Photographs, financial records, communications. Cora had been living a double life with surgical precision. I also called my lawyer. In our state, discovering non-paternity after 20 years doesn't eliminate child support obligations, which was actually fine by me. Izar and Clara were still my children in every way that mattered. But Cora's adultery and financial deception gave me significant leverage in divorce proceedings. When I confronted Cora with all the evidence, she finally stopped lying. The affair with her trainer was real. The financial manipulation was real. Even her claims about loving me felt hollow now. The divorce was finalized 8 months later. Cora lost the house, half of her retirement, and most of our mutual friends once the truth came out. Her relationship with the trainer ended when he discovered she'd been using their affair as grounds for divorce advantage. Izar and I have developed an unexpected friendship. He's building relationships with Izar and Clara gradually. and they are adjusting to the truth better than expected. They still call me father, and I still love them unconditionally. Sometimes people ask me if I regret the 20 years I spent raising children who weren't biologically mine. The answer is no. Being their father was the greatest privilege of my life, even if it began with a lie. What I regret is trusting someone who is capable of such systematic deception. What I regret is wasting 2 decades on someone who saw love as a game to be manipulated. But I don't regret the truth finally coming out. Sometimes the most painful revelations are also the most liberating ones. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe. And remember, the truth always finds a way to surface, no matter how deeply it's buried.